Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I will be presenting on the stock-taking of PFM reform program in Cambodia. My presentation will be delivered into three separate parts. First, I'm going to give a brief background of the PFM reform program in Cambodia, which is structured into 4 stages. And then I will zoom into the second platform, which is the 4th stage of the PFM reform, targeting on performance accountability, and we'll be concluding with some key takeaways from our reform experience. So, our PFM reform program, it has been more than 2 decades since Cambodia launched our first PFM program in December 2004. First stage is aimed at budget credibility. The objective is to ensure the budget is realistic and executed as planned. One of the key achievements is the establishment of the Treasury single accounts, which help replace thousands of government bank accounts, and these initiatives really help improve the oversight of public resource, and at the same time also eliminate the systematic delay in government payments. Another key achievement is the actual spending has been consistently aligned with the approved budget, and this really indicates the realism in planning and the discipline in execution of our budget. Moving on to Platform 2, which is scheduled between 2009 and 2015. The objective of Platform 2 is the financial accountability, is to ensure the strengthening of financial controls and reporting as well as transparency. The significant progress has been made in aligning Cambodia's accounting and reporting framework with international standards. At the same time, Cambodia has been known for a prudent approach to public debt, ensuring a very low risk of debt distress. And we've been introducing the 5-year public debt management strategy, which is coinciding with the government mandate. With that also, the public debt has been more transparent as the General Department of International Cooperation and Debt Management under the Ministry of Economy and Finance published their debt bulletin quarterly to the public. And of course, like many other countries of our peers, we have been delivering a gradual expansion of the FMIS across the government. Moving on to Platform 3, which is about the budget policy linkage, as the name suggests. It's very self-explanatory. We are aiming to enhance the connection between the budgeting and the policy of the government. The original schedule is aimed to achieve between 2016 and 2020, but given the COVID-19, after our PFA assessment at that time, we have been extending for another 2 years, between 2021 to 2022, for the 3rd stage. And this stage, of course, to ensure the budget policy linkage, one of the cornerstone is program budgeting, where we've been introducing to ensure the link between government policy objectives, resource allocation, and ensure that measurable results can be achieved. The latest achievement in this stage is the introduction and publication of MTFF and MTBF, where MTFF is to set fiscal target expenditure ceilings and for cover national and subnational framework. Inconsistent with MTFF, MTBF set expenditure ceiling for line ministries consistent with MTFF and linked to policy priorities. Another key achievement is not to ignore the capital side of the expenditure. A regulatory framework for public investment management has been created also, and it is expected to guide the selection and implementation of capital projects more strategically. And now I'm moving on to the 4th stage, which is performance accountability, our current agenda, where we are trying to achieve the full implementation of performance-informed budgeting system after 2027. So all the achievement, all the tools, mechanisms that have been established and driven the all the stages of PFM reform so far has been strengthened and stipulated in our latest public financial system law, which is the amendment to our existing law in 2023. The new law provides for incentive for an increased financial management autonomy for budget entities, and it helped reduce the ex ante control replaced by ex post accountabilities. So as in the third stage, we are focusing on program budgeting. The fourth stage, we are transitioning into performance-informed budgeting, and the law really set a stage to allow that implementation. The performance accountability in the budget cycle is also reported to the legislative body so that the accountability can be ensured at all levels. We've been introducing the new tools called Annual Performance Plan, where all line ministries has to prepare a touch with the budget proposal, and these plans will be collected and consolidated by the Ministry of Economy and Finance, and it will be attached with the budget bill to the Parliament. Similarly, we have a mirroring tools, which is annual performance report, where line ministries have to report on those achievements against their plan. These annual performance report will be consolidated again and attached to the budget settlement bill to the Parliament as well. Also, related to budget transparency, our budget bill will also be published to the public after it's sent to the Parliament. And the third point under this performance accountability is to strengthen the effective control system, which we already have in place. Our control system can be divided into three mechanisms responsible by three separate entities also. First is internal audit, which is under the responsibility of General Department of Internal Audit under the Ministry of Economy and Finance. The General Department of Internal Audit play a role as an internal audit entity for MEF, Ministry of Economy and Finance, and at the same time provide guidance and reporting framework to internal audit within line ministries. The second one is financial inspection, which is the responsibility of General Department of Inspection under the Ministry of Economy and Finance also, which deliver financial inspection more on the complaint-based. And third is the independent audit. In Cambodia, we have the National Audit Authority, which is very independent. It is equivalent to the Supreme Audit Institute in other countries. The National Audit Authority is very independent, and they report directly to the Parliament. Of course, PFM reform is a very comprehensive and it has a scope cover the entire government, but I can summarize into our context. So the PFM in Cambodia context, the first one, as we talk about budget credibility, revenue mobilization strategy is very important. Without a strong resource collection and oversight, of course, budget credibility cannot be achieved. We've been commissioning the medium-term revenue mobilization strategy. The first one was between 2014 and 2018, and we can see tangible achievement. Revenue increased by an average of 1.4% of GDP annually between that period of 2019 to between 2014 to 2018, and it has been remarkably increased also in 2019, where the revenue increased by 3.18% of GDP in 2019. It was obviously before COVID. Second is the budget reform, budget system reform strategy, BSRS, which has been one of the cornerstone in the PFM reform program. The BSRS, we have two versions. The first one was BSRS 2018 to 2025, which aim at a transition of budget system from the program budgeting to performance-informed budgeting. And the new public financial system law, which was promulgated in 2023, was one of the phenomenal achievement of the budget system reform strategy. And now all the key elements and the driver towards performance-informed budgeting has been stipulated in this law. So we have a very strong legislative framework to carry that forward. Third one, Cambodia is very well known for our prudent debt status. Public debt strategy is one of the important key cornerstone in our reform also. The new public financial system law has been setting for a very strong status that MEF is the sole authority to borrow, receive grants, issue guarantees, and undertake any financial commitment on behalf of the royal government of Cambodia. And therefore, MEF holds a primary responsibility for operational debt management function. As of the first semester of 2025, our public debt to GDP stands at 18.4%, which is well below the 40% threshold. And last but not least, of course, given the digitalization trend where we are embarking on, the FMIS is one of the key drivers of our reform also. Now, concluding with some key takeaways from our reform experience, fiscal discipline is very imperative in our case. So Cambodia has sustained an economic growth over the past 2 decades, which really showcasing our fiscal discipline, real GDP growth at an average of 7% between 2005 and 2019. And even despite COVID-19, we've been showing resilience during and also post-COVID-19 recovery. And GDP per capita back in 2025, after we launched our public financial reform program, has shown a trajectory which is almost doubled in 2005. Second, the efficiency of strategic budget allocation and operation is also important, both during the formulation and execution of the budget that needs to ensure the allocation is efficient, and the implementation has to be aligned with the planned budget. Despite all of these reform elements, where we addressed this morning also by our colleagues, it has to deliver some tangible changes in the public service delivery, and that's why effectiveness of public service delivery is another cornerstone. Our PFM reforms have translated into tangible improvement in public service delivery. Key advancement in education and health sectors are very obvious, and it has been assessed by World Bank in many public expenditure review reports so far. And in education, we can see a higher proportion of trained teachers and improved learning environment. In health sector, we see a lower rate of infant mortality and also improve skill birth attendance as well. And that will conclude my presentation. And thank you very much for your attention.